choice we have. We are obliged to look at that. And so while I have an enormous amount of sympathy for some of the perhaps failings of the public sector in seemingly having different aims and different objectives, I would make the point that in this particular case, it isn't a case of if we didn't take the money, we could spend it on something else. If we didn't take the money, someone else would spend it on something else.
Thank you, Chief Exec. Okay, Councillor Richard Young now then, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have sympathy with Councillor Williams, what she's saying about consultants, but unfortunately we're in a situation where we have to follow a course of action because it is government policy, and we as an authority don't have all the expertise for that within the authority, so we have to go outside the authority to get that expertise so that we don't waste money and we do actually follow these projects and get the full benefit from them for the people that live in Bridgend County Borough. But one of the things that we will be fighting in the future, if we're not already fighting it now, is fuel poverty. And the mine water project in Cairo and Bridgend Heat Network are looking at that. But it goes further than that for the future. What we are trying to do with this strategy is to get economic benefits as well. We are working with the college because we believe that there are education benefits that spring from this, and skills benefits. The technology behind all this is changing. We are working with the college to set up what they are calling at the moment as a heat academy, but it doesn't necessarily mean it can only be heat, which means that all the new technology that's coming around it and the learning that's coming around the projects that we're doing can feed into training opportunities for youngsters that live in Bridgend, and later on perhaps apprenticeships, because we are also looking and dealing with companies that are expressing not only a desire, if you like, to bring projects to Bridgend because we have such a good name in this area, but are looking to bring their manufacturing opportunities here as well. So Bridgend has the opportunity to gain skills benefit as well as apprenticeships for ongoing skills benefits, and set up a learning academy and also a manufacturing base. So it's a three-pronged, if you like, outcome that we're looking for. Now that is not done overnight. It's certainly not done with all the expertise that we have in the local authority. We have to go outside for that. But the opportunity here is too good to miss. And just to assure Council, if I may, we have not failed in any of the projects that we have brought forward or announced within Council. The Cairo mine water, for instance, is not dead. There will be a mine water element to that project. It's just that we have expanded it to take in other forms, and that is the better to gain learning element, to see if we can, in the words of the A-level, the old A-level exam, we can compare and contrast to see what is more efficient and where we need to go in the future to build the economy and to build the infrastructure that supports that economy. So we are building for the future. There is more to these projects than meet the eye. There's more to the projects than simply having a heat network. There is a goal at the end of this. This is just one step in the march towards that goal. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Young. Councillor Baldwin, please. Thank you for your patience.
That's okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And forgive me if this has already been answered in some way, because I lost internet connectivity. I just wanted some clarity on the relationship, an ongoing relationship between BCBC and the SPV that we're looking at setting up around the future legalities and contractual obligations. Will we be tied to that SPV, or is this just another example of carrying out the appropriate feasibility to decide what our next steps are? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I don't know whether Janine or Gerald would like to answer. Janine, yes?
Yes, I'm happy to answer that, Mr. Mayor. Councillor, we are going to bring a very detailed report to March Cabinet, which just focuses on the SPV arrangements, and that's being prepared now. So hopefully we'll be able to have that discussion and allay some of your concerns then. Thank you.
Thank you, Janine. All right, Councillor Baldwin.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Right, Councillor Tim Thomas, please.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Baldwin's slightly stolen my thunder. I'm just wondering, a project of this magnitude, would it be more pertinent to bring it back to full council, the initial findings? Is that the proposal?
Janine, do you want to? Yeah, please.
I can comment. Oh, yeah. There you are.
Yes, we've got Jill with us as well.
Yes,
yes, absolutely. What we're going to do is to go out to tender, and then we will be scrutinising all of the submissions that come in, and then we will make a decision as to which one we could recommend to the Cabinet to go forward. But I'm also assuming, and Jill can correct me if I'm wrong, that we then would need to come to Council to ratify the borrowing as part of the capital programme. So it would, I'm quite sure, be an opportunity then to discuss that. But I will defer to Jill to see whether that's correct.
okay.
Thanks, Janine. Through you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I think Janine's explained the timelines. The report went to Cabinet in January. The SPV will come to the March Cabinet, and there will be a report for March Council to bring for permission to put it into the capital programme. Then further reports will come back once Janine has had the opportunity to procure and come back to council further on.
Thank you.
If I may just come back in, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
This SPV, I've heard of similar usages of such a vehicle, but not so much for energy projects. Is this ever been used before by any other local authorities for similar projects? In relation to energy, that is. I've heard of like Lambeth, I think it is, in using it for council housing and that sort of thing. But
Yes, would you like me to come back in, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, yes, I've seen you there. Yes, please.
Yes, of course. Yes, that's Councillor Thomas. This is being used by Cardiff. They are the other local authority in Wales currently who are progressing a district heat network. So they're progressing it via an SPV vehicle because that's the recommended way. And also in Scotland, they're very well advanced with their district heat networks there. Dare I say, they're probably leading the field. And yes, that is the mechanism that they use in local authorities, is a special purpose vehicle to deliver you know, the energy projects for them. Yeah, it's the recommended way. But in Wales at the moment, it would be ourselves and Cardiff, because we're the most advanced, I suppose, in terms of bringing district heat.
Thank you,
Janine, I look forward to progress on this one.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. I've got three more speakers. The last will be Councillor Hugh David, the leader, but Councillor Charles Smith, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to let you know that I've just had a phone call from Councillor Tildesley. He apologises for not voting. He said that he could hear Mark Galvin, but he couldn't answer. He states that it was his niece, who I know is a pupil at Afon Llewellyn Primary School, who set up his laptop this morning, and then she abandoned him and left it on mute, and he couldn't work out how to get through. But he does say that he would have voted for the budget and he would have voted for the council tax. And he also added that he thought Hugh and Howell spoke wonderfully, and over generously he said that I spoke very well also. But I would like to put that on record. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Right, two more speakers, Councillor Paul Davis and then Councillor Hugh David. Councillor Paul Davis, please.
Yes, thank you, Chair. When it comes to this heat network, Chair, this is just scratching the surface. We've got a climate emergency apparently, so the experts tell us, so Richard Attenborough tell us. you know, we need to do far, far more. They reckon it'll cost trillions to get where we need to go to get the zero carbon. These sort of projects are nothing in comparison if we're talking about spending money, you know. I'm obviously in Cairo here, we have the heat project up here. I hope it gets to fruition, and I'm a great supporter of them. You know, you look around, you've got cars everywhere, you've got planes flying in the sky, you've got boats bumping out. It's everywhere. How are we going to get to zero carbon without starting somewhere? And these are the schemes where you start and you build up from there. There's no other way of doing it, as far as I can see. You know, and ambition is the thing I think we need. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. Right, last speaker then, Councillor Hugh David Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I think Councillor Davis made a very important point there about the climate emergency, which is the here and now. I can see your backdrop is a storm hitting the breakwater in Porthcawl, Mr. Mayor, and unfortunately we have seen in communities not too far away, just in RCT, the impact of extreme weather becoming more frequent and the terrible impact it's having in terms of flooding. And this is part of our response to that and the need to decarbonise our agenda. It is a commitment that we've made as an authority that we would get there and get there as quickly as possible. Just on the mechanism that with the vehicle that we're using, the special purchase vehicle, it's a requirement of the UK government that if we're to receive the 1.25 million grant that we have secured from them, then we have to set up a special purpose vehicle. Otherwise, we will not receive that money and we will have to send it back to London. And I'm sure one thing we can all agree on in this chamber is none of us want to send any money back to London. It's investment that we want to see in the town of Bridgend. But it is important that we have a report back, and a commitment was made to that happening in the cabinet meeting that we had to discuss this in January, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. Right, the recommendation for the Treasury Management Capital Strategies. Do I have a mover, please?
Move, Chair.
Second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I think we will have to go straight to a vote. Please, Mark, can you do a recorded vote?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Councillor Aspie, please. Councillor Aspie.
For.
Councillor Baldwin.
For.
Councillor Beadle.
For.
Councillor Blundell.
For, thank you, Mark.
Councillor Burnett.
For.
Councillor Mike Clark.
Abstain.
Put it down.
Councillor Laura Clark.
So, sorry about that noise. I abstain.
Thank you. Councillor Collins, please.
For.
Councillor Hugh David.
For. Thank you.
Councillor Paul Davis.
For, please, Mark. Thank you.
Councillor Pam Davis.
For. Thank you, Mark.
Councillor Dendy, please.
Abstain, please.
Thank you. Councillor Edwards.
For.
Councillor Gebby.
For, thank you, Mark.
Councillor Gifford.
Abstain.
Councillor Granville.
For, please, Mark.
Councillor Cheryl Green.
For.
Councillor Howells.
For, please, Mark.
Thank you. Councillor Hussain.
Abstain, please.
Councillor James.
For.
Councillor Jones, please. Brian.
Abstain.
Councillor Martin Jones.
For.
Councillor Kern. For. Councillor Lewis. David.
For, Mark. Diolch.
Thank you. Councillor Janice Lewis.
For, Mark.
Councillor John McCarthy, please.
For, Mark.
Councillor Patel.
For, thanks, Mark.
Councillor Bacella.
Thank you, Mark. Against, please.
Councillor Radcliffe is not here. Councillor Rowlands, please.
Abstain.
Thank you. Councillor Sedgbeer.
For.
Councillor Shaw.
Pedwar, please.
Councillor Smith.
For.
Yeah. Councillor Smith Charles.
For, please, Mark, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for a good meeting.
Thank you, Charles.
Councillor Steve Smith, please.
For.
Councillor Spanswick.
For.
Councillor Sturman.
Abstain, thank you.
Councillor Gary Thomas.
For, Mark, please.
Thank you. Councillor Ross Thomas.
For, thanks, Mark.
Councillor Tim Thomas.
4, please, Mark.
Thank you. Councillor Tilsley's not here. Councillor Venables.
Abstain.
Thank you. Councillor Vidal.
Abstain.
Councillor Voicey.
For.
Councillor Lynn Walters, please.
For.
Councillor Watts.
Abstain.
Councillor Webster.
Abstain.
Councillor White David.
For, Mark.
Councillor Phil White.
For, please, Mark.
Councillor Amanda Williams.
Abstain.
Councillor Alex Williams.
Mark, Alex seems to be unavailable. Would you like to ring him?
Mike.
Yeah.
Can you try and get hold of Councillor Alex Williams, please?
Yeah, 2 secs.
Thank you. Councillor Howell Williams.
I'm here. For.
Councillor Julia Williams.
Abstain.
Councillor Richard Young.
For, thanks, Mark.
I'll top these up, Mr. Mayor, and I'll come back and see if we can reconnect with Councillor Alex Williams.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have 35 for, 14 abstentions and 1 against. Mike is trying to get hold of Councillor Alex Williams, but he needs to confirm that he's heard the debate on this item in order to allow him to vote.
Okay, thank you. We'll give it a couple of minutes.
Hi, Mark. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mike.
I've got him on the phone, but I can't seem to get his voice to come through. Oh, I can hear you now, Councillor Williams. Mark, can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yes, Mike.
Can you hear Alex Williams on the phone?
Councillor Williams, you there?
Can you hear him, Councillor?
No, I can't hear him.
Mark, did you get that?
No, I can't hear him actually. I think Kelly wants to come in, Mr. Mayor, the modern officer.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, just to confirm, it is obviously a requirement that we can check that Councillor Williams has heard the debate, but also we need to be able to hear him.
Yes.
So if we can't hear him, obviously we can't count his vote.
So I'm just going to say, how would that be counted then as a non-vote? Is it?
Yes, as if he's not in attendance.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Okay, Mark, recorded as not in attendance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Will do.
So, Mark, what were the figures again, please? Can you repeat them? I know it was a 4, but...
Yeah, certainly it was 35 for, 14 abstentions and 1 against.
Okay. Therefore, the motion's carried. Thank you. I have no further business, no urgent items. So I declare the meeting closed and thank everybody for their contributions, especially Jill Lewis. Marathon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.